everyone. How are y'all? Let me see who is in here. Miss Eve. Thank you, Miss Eve, for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for dropping the links. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Hi, Duck. Good to see you. Good to see you on this Sunday afternoon. Hi, Appalachia Skies. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Hey, Cher. Hey. Busy, are you? Cleaning? Yes, I get it. Hi, Seafowls. Hi, Casey. How are you? Everybody. Good to see y'all. Uh, Megan may be here. She may not. Um, she had company at the last minute, so she is not here. But we'll see. She may get here. Your co-host is here. Yeah, yeah. Cleaning and still trying to get. I missed it. There it is. Trying to get the giant slushy down. The slushy that I seen a picture of. That thing was huge. My husband's like, "Oh my god, that thing is huge." Oh my gosh, that'll take you like you could probably have that for like 3 days. You could probably keep that for like 3 days. 3 days, right? You probably could. Yeah, me and Megan was gonna go live on her channel, and then she had unexpected company, so I just said I need to go live because I need hours on my channel, so I needed to jump up here. I was already prepared to do some sort of a live, so I jumped on here. Um, I did kind of have some stuff planned for it already, but um, I think the video I've been wanting to go over is the one with her dad, uh, and that's the one we're going to do tonight. And it was hard to find it. A lot of people didn't have it, and I don't mind going through creators, and using as they're talking about it and watching it like they're reacting to it. I don't mind using those at all. I just couldn't find one that had the whole video, and I wanted the whole interview. I found one finally, and I don't think he's going to mind me using it. I did put him in the credits, did put him in my description. It's Frankie Rusick Jr.'s video. Hopefully he don't strike me for it. It's about NK. I don't think he will, but we'll see. Family size slushy. Yes, that thing was huge. Huge. I could see family size. Hi, Ronnie. Welcome. Welcome. Seems like everybody is busy this weekend. Got lots of stuff going on. Oh, welcome to everybody that's here. So this is, like I said, this is going to be NK's interview with the one her dad sat in on. I put, stay up using his stuff. Well, I couldn't find, there is one more person's I can pick, but I don't know if they would do it or not. If you think I should use somebody else's, I can use somebody else's. I mean, I really don't know at this point. Um, isn't that lame as a creator? I understand. Yeah, yeah. I want to see the whole interview, and I don't know if this is the whole interview. It says that it is. It's like 40 minutes, maybe. Um, but like I said, I had a hard time finding it, and there's only 2 channels that offered it, and I want to go over it. So, I mean, I think it would be okay. I don't think he's going to strike me, but I mean, it's about NK, so it's and my feelings are, I don't know what his feelings are. But my feelings are she should be investigated and she's a part of it. Um, and I want to show the dynamics of her dad in there because it's quite shocking to see the fact that he controlled so much of it and she's an adult. So I guess if he wouldn't want, if he didn't want you to use it, it still wouldn't be up there. This is from 4 years ago. So yeah, so we're gonna do that, and then if we have time, I may we may be able to look at the video of NK's drunk cousin. I did show it the other night on the Looking Glass. So it is over there. Not all of it, but some of it is over there. So listen to some videos on Shanann's ML business she had in the past and the debt she and Chris were in. Yeah, I didn't listen to that. I have looked at all of her Facebook videos and stuff. I did see that. I haven't made it that far into that. I'm going to eventually, hopefully, get into that part of it. Most of the copyright stuff only affects earnings anyway. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to be an issue for me. So that's, there's that. Yep. Ronnie came by on Stuck too. I saw her on there. Yep. So we're going to go over here and we are going to watch NK's interview. Might as well say NK and her dad's interview because basically that's what it is. So get comfortable so we can look at the huzzy what else can I say? Jezebel that I can say actually on here because there's other words I would like to call her, but I probably shouldn't. Thank you there, Eve. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let me go over here. It's brought up already. Let me add it to the stage. Let me go over here so I can play it and make it big. It's kind of dark too. You'll see that it's kind of dark. So it's like the lighting in those rooms suck. Yeah. I have some more I could call her, the Scuzzy Huzzy was my new one. But I'd like to call her that thing that you use in the garden and put skank in front of it, but I might not should. But there's that. There's that. So we shall go over here and we shall watch the new release. Well, Frankie put new release. This came out 4 years ago. Oh no. Mm-mm. No, my grandma used to call it, she used to tell me, go get the hoe so we can work around the corn. Does that help you out? No, not a rake. Although she's probably spread out like one. Oh, did I just say that? I probably should not. That was not. Okay, I better go over here. That probably was not nice to say. But I said it. So let's go.
I just turned the recording. Okay. So again, this room is recorded and video and audio. We introduced ourselves in the lobbies and earlier, so we're just going to do that again real quick. My name is Kevin Kovac. I'm with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. And we're assisting the Frederick Police Department with this case involving Chris Watts.
Yeah.
This is Tim Martinez, also an agent at CDI. Sir, if you just introduce yourself.
Dwayne Kessinger. I'm Nicole's father.
Dwayne, what's your birthday?
November 3rd, 1958,
And home address for you, sir?
8801 West 65th Avenue.
What city?
And that's Arvada, 8004.
And a cell phone or a home phone or where?
720-982-4547.
Thank you. And Nicole, can you just introduce yourself for the recording?
Nicole Kessinger. Do you know my stuff?
Yes, please.
I live at 12255 Claude Court, Unit 612. Phone number 720-656-9605.
Claude Court, is that? I think we determined it was North Glen, right? You know your zip code?
80249.
Okay. Can you speak up just a little bit so the recorder?
Right,
I know
thank
you're
you.
tired and you're stressed, and we won't be here any longer than we have to be. You've already had a conversation with people before. You came here on your own free will to talk to us. We picked you up.
In my opinion, because she's very worried and very scared that she's going to be not leaving there. That's my opinion on why she's acting so meek. Like a rake. Spread out like a rake. Yes. Yes. She probably could be. The rake would probably be a good name for her because, you know, she's still sucks the life out of people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because you're an instigator. Are you an instigator? No. Yep. Right? Yeah. Because I feel like, Ronnie, he's pulled her out of every gutter. Because she has stabbed somebody. She has gotten arrested for drunk under the influence. I think it was a DUI. It could have been a DWI. She's been arrested several times and got out of all of it. Yeah, yeah. Right? 100%. Yep. Oh, hey, what are we picking up? We're picking up something good to eat. That's the best way to do it. Do Walmart pickup. Right, we do. That's right. 100%. Yes, drive safe, Ronnie. Yes. Okay, here we go. Let's listen to Miss Meek. I was totally innocent.
At your request and brought you here. You can get up and leave at any time. You don't have to talk to us. If there's a question you don't want to answer, don't answer it. If you don't want to talk anymore, just tell me I want to leave. And I'm kind of in the way.
Wow.
You're not being interrogated as a criminal suspect. We're here to
Why not?
understand your relationship with Chris and what you know about Chris and his family, and events relating to Chris Watts.
She knows way.
Do you know him as
more
Chris or
than you
Christopher?
think.
Okay. So the phone number that you reached him on, can you tell me what that number was?
I think I deleted that out of my phone too. I just cut him out of my life. It's a 910 number. You guys have it.
Oh, stop it.
Now we gave it to Mark
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, I probably
He'll
have it,
have
but
it.
just in case.
Oh, did you
I
hear
don't
that?
have
Did
it.
you hear that? We gave it to you yesterday, Mark. Why are we on first name basis? Why are we on first name basis? I don't care if you know him or not. You are being talked to as a witness or whatever you want to call it. This is a supposed to be professional. Why are you calling him by his first name and saying, well, we already gave that information to you? Okay, well, it's got to be on record there, smart one. Drive fast, take chances. Oh, right. Yeah, she cut him off like we cut our electricity off. Oh, snacks for your granddaughter. That is important. That is important. Granddaughter snacks are important.
I recited it to you, would you know it?
Just the first three numbers.
But you know it as a 910 number?
Yes, that's what I
Listen
do.
to what
I-
her dad
If I-
says again.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
It's a 910 number. You guys have it.
No, we gave it to Mark
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, I probably
don't
have it,
have
but
it.
just in case.
I don't have it.
If I
anymore.
recited it to you, would you know it?
Just the first three numbers.
Oh, stop it.
But you know it as a 910 number?
Yes, that's what I do know. I mean, that's what I got.
North Carolina or something.
That's
North
what it
Carolina.
is.
Okay, so let's just start with like a timeline of your getting to know Chris, how you guys met, where you met, all those things. And let's just run. And I'm not going to ask you specific questions unless I think it's necessary. I'll let you just tell me your story. I think it's a little bit easier that way. So I just want to know how you met him, where you met him, how long you guys were dating, and those kind of things initially.
Okay. I think I met him sometime in June, probably early June. It might have been May. It was just talking at work. It was pretty casual. And he didn't have a wedding ring on his finger. And every time I talked to him, he didn't tell me that he was in a relationship. He didn't even mention his kids right away either.
That's a lie.
And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids. I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was like right around Father's Day too. So whenever that is in June.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm not
that's-
good with
He
holidays.
told me he had kids, and then it was Father's Day shortly after
Okay.
that. So that's what I do now. And I was like, I thought it was cute. And then he's telling me about him. He's pretty excited about him. And then he mentioned that he did have a significant other. And then he told me that those two were in the process of a separation.
Did he mention the children's name or his significant other's name?
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while.
She is such a lie. Oh my gosh, because she had Googled them in 2017. She knew exactly who they were. In August 20 of 2017, she looked up Shanann. So she knew exactly who they were in 2017. Just trying to see if I had the other date on here. And she said he didn't have a ring on. So I don't believe that either. I don't believe that he took his ring off. I don't think he did that. Hi, Appalachian Skies. Yeah. I gave snacks to my 33-year-old grandson yesterday when he came by. Oh, we always do that, right? No matter how old they get. No matter how old they get. Yes, he isn't, but I've sat and thought about it. Do I believe that these investigators would have pressed harder if they were allowed to? I think so. And I think that they left thinking there was more to her involvement, but because for some reason they said they didn't have to investigate it anymore because Chris Watts pled guilty, which is still kind of crazy that would be your excuse why you stopped investigating her. I mean, if we can see all the evidence, how come they couldn't? So yeah, I kind of believe they thought she was full of crap too. But the fact that they let her dad in there is the other thing. I guess she's not technically, he said she's not being interrogated. So technically, she's just there as a witness, so he could be allowed in there. But maybe if she was like being questioned like Chris, maybe initially they wouldn't have let him in there. And then, of course, they would have let him in there like later, like Chris asked for his dad. But yeah.
And then I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick, but to be honest with you, on an exact date of when that happened, I don't know.
So in May and June, first of all, where do you work?
I work at Anadarko Petroleum Corporation. I'm contracted to Anadarko Petroleum Corporation
Okay, and you work out of an office setting where?
in Platteville, Colorado.
And Chris also works out of that location, per
Yes.
se.
Yes, he's in the field, but he comes into the office with his team.
So you work, what is your job responsibility?
I do health, safety, and environment.
Okay, so you work in the office and you take care of health safety for Anadarko is an oil and gas company, right?
Yes.
So you're doing health safety in the office and Chris works in the field
Yes.
as a, what kind of job does he do?
He's an operator, so I don't know like all of his daily duties, but he's a field operator, so he works with like the oil wells.
So he goes out and does work on those, whatever
Yes,
that work might be. But he comes into the office frequent.
in the
Or-
mornings. His team meets in the mornings. They're not all in there every day. Some days some of them are in there, some days other ones are in there, but in the mornings typically from like 6:15 to probably 7, somewhere around there.
And is that where you met Chris?
Yes.
So can you just take us through kind of a little bit of the early part of how he courted you or you courted him? I don't know which one happened. How you guys got to know each other.
I guess we just started talking. He actually, so part of my job is to manage the gas monitors that we have. So Anadarko requires all of their field personnel to carry gas monitor sensors for toxic gases, and it's my job to control the inventory and issues, anything like that. And we were having some pretty serious like equipment issues, and we had numerous amounts of people coming in my office one day, and he happened to be one of them. And I'd seen him before, like they meet in the lunchroom, and that's where I go put my lunch in the fridge. So I'd seen him, but I didn't ever.
So if she was over the health of the employees, I guess, then she would know very much how to work on a computer. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, she would know how to work on a computer because I would think she would have to do, I would think health charts, flow charts. I would think she would have to do, if her job was to maintain health, I would guess it would be like from the monitors. She would have to know how the monitors work, what levels of gas maybe they're breathing or oil or whatever, their environment around them. So she would have to know how to be on a computer. Do y'all think pretty much she would have to be very good on a computer? I mean, I would think. The first thing I believe people do look up is the person. Right. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, you probably should, especially if you're on these dating sites, especially if you should maybe. That's something you should do. But once you look that person up, in my opinion, and you find that they're married, then maybe you shouldn't look them up no more. Yeah, environmental health and safety, but she said they carried the monitors, so I would think she would have to kind of look at health things like that might affect their health, like, the air they're breathing, that kind of thing. I wonder if she kind of monitored that a little bit too. But good at finding information. She obviously is, isn't she? She looked it up. Got something in my eye. Oh no, you're good. I know you're fixing dinner. I know. You're good. You're good. I was a training coordinator for aviation company. I also worked as an environmental health and safety coordinator, and I had access to every single employee. See there? Yeah. So she had access to him for sure. Yeah. And she probably knew what his job was exactly. If she's the health, you know, person, she probably knew what his job entailed. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. She lying. You're lying. Yeah, hussy, you're lying.
Like, talk to him. So that day we just started talking, and then every time I saw him in the hallway after that, and it was always hit or miss, like it wasn't an everyday thing, it was just when I saw him, we just started talking, and we just kind of had a lot in common and just hit it off, so we'd always have, pretty good conversations, and then, I don't know, one day he told me that he had kids and started talking about his kids, and then mentioned, yes, that I have a wife, but we're getting separated. Okay. And then
When do you think that was?
when he said all that,
So specifically when he told you he was getting separated from his wife, was that within the first couple of weeks that you knew him, or was that later on? You said you met him around May or June.
yeah, it was still in June.
Okay.
It would have been before Father's Day.
So had you guys ever gone out on any kind of
No.
date at that time? You just
no,
were
no, no, no.
conversing at work?
Yeah, that's all it was. And then I don't know. We started hanging out. We hung out. We went to a park. Hung out at a park.
Let's go back real quick. So why did he tell you that he was getting a divorce? Did he ask you out at that time?
No, he didn't. I think he was probably interested in me. And so he talked to me a couple times via his work phone, and I was like, no. Like, it was still very, like, friendly conversation.
So she says that he told her when he met her in June they were separated. But we know that's not true because they just found out that Shanann was pregnant. So there was no talk ever of being separated or divorced until he started acting weird later, right? So the only thing that there was about a divorce was there was a divorce lawyer that she was talking to that they met in passing, like at a restaurant or something. She didn't seek out a divorce lawyer. So either Chris lied to her and told her that so she would see him, or she's lying. But I'm going to say it's most probably she's lying because she looked them up already. She had been following them already. And when she looked Chris up, she was not working at Anadarko. Chris was, but she wasn't. That's odd also. Yes. Yep. Because she probably knew his position, all his certifications, what he was qualified to do, what he wasn't qualified to do, and yeah, 100%, Ronnie. I agree with that. Yep. Totally agree with that. And I want to listen to what she tells him because I'm pretty sure it's this interview. He should have retracts himself and ask her to repeat herself, but he doesn't. And it's about all of the ways that he communicates. They were communicating together, her and Chris. Googles everything. Yeah, of course she did. Yep. And I don't know, this is a rumor. I don't know if this is true or not. But at some point, I was told that she was at one of the Thrive things, one of the Thrive promotions or get-togethers or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was told that Shanann had already met her before through a Thrive thing. I don't know if that's true. That it's a rumor that was said.
But then when I realized, like, this man is interested in me, I'm interested in him, this is personal, so we got away from the Anadarko thing because I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. And
So you have a work phone that's specifically,
no, I have one phone that I do both on. He has two phones.
okay, so he had your phone, the 720-656.
That's the only number that I roll with all the time.
Okay.
So he has two phones.
One of those owned by Anadarko and
Yes,
one
sir.
personal.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what his Anadarko phone number was?
It's been so long, and I mean, I'm sure I could like.
It
look
ain't
up,
been
but I
that
tried to look
long.
it up for those guys
This
yesterday.
is August. It has not been that long, unless you're referring to, like, we think you've been together way longer. So then it's probably been so long. She acts like, oh, it's been so long. She acts like this is like a year ago. Yeah. Right. Yeah. She acts like this case has been so long ago. Oh, that was so long ago. I don't remember. She has CRS. But her CRS is selective. She can remember shit, but she pretends she doesn't.
And I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Um,
We can find it. That's okay. Just wondering if you knew it.
But at that point, we just like took it to his phone because I just felt it was like better that way. And we just continued to talk, and then
Let me go back to the park. Where's the park?
it's like down the street from my house. It's called East Lake Number 3.
Your house
Yes.
in North Glen?
Yes.
And that was in the June timeframe.
Yeah, or like the beginning of July. It was like right around my birthday. It's like so sometime at the very end of June or the beginning of July.
Okay. And that's the first meeting you had outside of work?
Yeah.
Basic conversation for a first date?
I mean, we kept it pretty simple, I guess, you know. I don't even remember everything we talked about. We
Sure.
were there for a few hours.
Understand so if I ask about conversation, what I'm looking for, was he talking about his family during any of these meetings? Those are the kind of, I understand, whatever you guys were talking about, relationship, your life, your interests, those things, we don't need to know that. What I'm interested in is knowing is when he brings up his children, when he brings up his wife, when he brings up financial information, when he brings up his home, when he brings up anything that may have been, and it's been a few days, so you've had a chance to reflect on some articles that you may have read, and unfortunately, that you're in a situation where somebody has been murdered. And that information, when you look backwards in your memory with the conversations with Chris, anything that he might have said that would be relative to that, and I'm not just, even if one day he was mad and he said, I don't want to do this or do that, anything like that. If he ever made any kind of statements that you were like, whoa, that was weird. Or why would he say that? Or why did he mention that? Do you understand what I'm
No,
looking
I
for?
completely understand. I just feel like some of this happened so long ago that I can't tell you, like,
So long ago. This happened so long ago. That's why when she does stuff like that, that's why I think they have been. If this is August and he's asking you this stuff and she keeps saying so long ago, you're not gonna think June 2 months ago was so long ago. I mean, so long ago to me it'd be like a year ago versus a month ago, right? So she keeps saying that it was so long ago. Okay, 2 months, according to you. That's not so long ago. Yep. They did. Well, yeah, they did. She looked him up, definitely looked him up before then. And I agree. I think they did know each other. I think they've known each other for a year or longer, at least, in my opinion.
the exact words of the exact conversation at the exact time
Sure.
and place, because it's like, we had a lot of conversations. I mean, we talked
In
every
2
single
months?
day. So it's
So if there's
like,
a,
I'm trying to help you guys with the stuff, like the stuff that's more current. I can give you guys a lot more like detail and exact times. But when you're asking me about something that happened 6 weeks ago and exactly what was said, it's like, I mean, I'm sure I can give you a general idea, but to be honest with you, like to pinpoint exact words, it's not going to happen.
I'm not looking for exact words, just more, let's say 6 weeks ago, he said something that triggered with you last night. That's what I'd be looking for. Or something 4 weeks ago. And if you don't remember where it was or the specific words, that doesn't matter. Just he said something that was off the wall, or he said this or he said that, that has caused you a moment to pause and you go,
So she just said, if it's something 6 weeks ago, I'm not going to remember it. But earlier she said, we've only been together a little over 5 weeks. So how long have you been together? 5 weeks? 6 weeks? 365 days? That's what I'm not understanding. She doesn't want to say anything because she doesn't want to incriminate herself. She's already told them, I didn't know Shanann was pregnant till y'all told me she was. That's a lie. We know that's a lie because she had been on Facebook. She had seen the Facebook video that Chris and Shanann done about the third baby. So there is no way she did not know until they told her. So she's so scared she's going to say something to incriminate herself, or she's going to say something because she doesn't know what Chris has told them. She doesn't know if he's threw her under the bus or not, because the reason she's there is because, to begin with, is because a coworker from Human Resources, called the detective and said that she was having an affair with Chris. One of her coworkers told on her. She didn't just, like they're trying to say, she just came up here and volunteered. She didn't do that until somebody told on her. And then she found out somebody told on her. So then she calls them on the case. So she wasn't even going to go up there. Somebody tattled on her. So at this point, she doesn't know what they know. This is my opinion. At this point, she doesn't know what they know. So she's scared she's going to incriminate herself. So she's being quiet. And she doesn't know what has been said and what hasn't been said. And I also feel like she can't keep up with her lies at some point. But her dad, I feel, is kind of intimidating in himself. I think he's kind of told her to coached her on what to say and what not to say. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think she's hesitant because she doesn't know what they know. And she's afraid that she's going to tell on herself or not tell them something. They're like, well, we know for a fact this. So she doesn't want to give that information away if they don't know it. So she's trying to err on the side of caution with that. But I also feel like she's trying to lead them away from the questions they really want to know. I feel like she's leading them away from the questions and trying to ask them questions to throw off the questions that they're trying to ask her. That's what I think. But yeah, I think she doesn't know what they know, and she's kind of scared. In the long babbling explanation I just gave.
wow, I wonder why you said that. Now knowing what you know today. Do you understand where I'm going with that?
I completely understand. And to be honest with you, I mean, there were several discussions that we had about his current relationship and where it had gone and what it had caused. And he talked about his kids from time to time. But the thing is he was never hostile. It was never anything aggressive. Like even when he spoke of his wife and the fact that they were separating, it was never like ill. It was very, it was still
Nobody
very
says
kind. It was
ew
just like,
when
this
they're
is not
grown.
working, you know, and would explain why, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary or anything that I think would scare me. And to this day, even after everything that I found out, I still look back at that and I don't see any red lights with the way that he spoke of
They're
his
flags,
family.
not lights.
Can you just describe his overall demeanor over the 8, 10, 12 weeks that you guys knew each
It
other?
wasn't that long. It was like
It looks there.
6 weeks.
It wasn't. Now see, 6 weeks. It wasn't that long. It was like 6 weeks.
We were hanging out. I guess we knew each other longer.
Okay, but you met him in
There
the
you go.
office and just his overall persona. Who was he aggressive? Was he mellow? Was he calm? Was he outspoken? Who was Chris?
I think he's an introvert. I would consider him to be like a pretty, I don't want to say he's a very reserved individual. I think he's probably more reserved around other people. I think he emphasized to me that one of the reasons that he really enjoyed talking to me is because he felt like he could get out of his shell. He said around most people, he just like didn't really feel the need to like talk and converse. And it wasn't just in his home life, just in general. It wasn't something where he's an introvert. And he said with me, it made him feel like he could really just start talking about things that excited him. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that we had things in common.
Really?
So with me, I think he was a little bit more outgoing, but even then, I would still consider him to be an introvert. I mean,
Sweet.
not on the extreme end. If an introvert went to like 1 to 10, I'd put him at like a 4 or 5. So on the lighter side of introvert.
Pretty even keeled.
Yes, like really relaxed, like all the time. He was never really like worked up about anything, just
Mellow,
chill.
easygoing.
For somebody to only know him 6 weeks, she knows a lot about him, don't she? He's really laid back. He's an introvert. I made him feel so good. He could open up. That's you know a lot for somebody you only knew for 6 weeks.
guy.
Very much.
Okay. And he was that way with you. Did he ever have any kind of, did you guys ever have arguments? I mean,
No.
pretty short relationship, no arguments during that time.
No.
Did he ever lose his temper at any time?
Never.
You guys never had a yelling match?
No.
So you never saw him upset or mad?
No. And there was a couple times that we had some disagreements on things that as we like further progress into this story, but it was never like I am very calm when I talk to people. It's like extremely rational when I handle situations that there's a disagreement in. And he always was the exact same way. Like always. Like I never stressed anything. I think one thing that actually kind of drew me to him was the
100%.
fact that he was like very open with communicating with me if there were any like differences on how we saw things or just like open-minded about things. It was actually I personally thought it was kind of unique because usually most of the men that I've ever met are typically very closed off and I didn't get that from him at all. But it was always like kind, very kind.
So no sense that this guy had a temper or
Not at all.
was aggressive or he never lost his mind and yelled and said crazy stuff or anything like that. Okay.
No.
So can we just kind of go back to your relationship? You say you guys had a lot in common. What was that?
Well, I mean, like we're both really into fitness. I think that's important. It's a lifestyle. Both of us ate pretty healthy, so I think that was important as well. He's like a total gearhead. He likes cars a lot, and I don't know nearly as much about them, but it's always been something that I've been pretty interested in. So we definitely talk about stuff like that. And I guess he was always willing to like learn new stuff and vice versa. Like I like to travel a lot and it's not something that he's done a lot, but he seemed like really interested in what I had to share with him and vice versa. So even if it wasn't something that we originally had in common together, it was just like, hey, I respect what you have to say and vice versa.
So you guys just yin and yang. You got along pretty well.
Very well.
And no
Because you're
time
both narcissists.
he
That's
never
why.
gave you an indication
None.
that he was having issues. So during your guys' dating time, did you guys spend most of the time at your place?
Always.
Okay, always at your place.
Or we'd go out, but I told Mark yesterday, he asked me if I went over there, and I told him about one time that I went over to that house. I've been to that house twice, but it was very, very brief, and it was not like an extended stay. I did not feel comfortable there, or like, I just didn't want to be there. It's not my life. Like, that is somebody else's life and somebody else's existence, and I respect that. That's their space.
No, you don't. She does not respect that. If she respected that, she would not be having an affair with a married man. There is no respect went out the door when you started that. And I think she's lying about that, how many times she's been there too, because the night before he done what he done, there's a picture he took a picture of this on the grill. There was 4 chicken breasts on the grill. Why would you take a picture of 4 chicken breasts on the grill when it was just you and the girls there? So, and she talked about the one time she went through the house, she seen the pictures. And that she sat in the living room on the floor. I think it was in the living room on the floor, while he got his stuff together to go to her house. So it's like 3 or 4 times she's already talked about being in there, but now she's saying she's only been twice and for brief moments. Well, you've seen pictures, you've seen the basement, you've been down there in the basement, you know that he's got workout stuff down there. So I don't believe that. Yeah. Hey, Aussie. Thank you for coming in. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. There's Aussie's channel. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you, Eve, for dropping that.
And so I used to tell him, well, come to my house because this is our space. This is my space. And so for me, out of respect, just for like whatever situation he had going on and the fact that it's not my home, I felt that it was better to be in my place. And I live alone. I don't have any roommates or anything, so it's pretty easy to do that.
So during June and July, were you aware that his family was not did you meet his children?
Nope.
During June and July.
And he didn't ask me to.
Okay.
I mean, not that I didn't want to ever. It was just not now. It's like you're not finalized with your separation. And not only that, we've barely been dating. Like, you can't introduce kids to somebody new in a situation like that. That's something that takes time. I mean, would I have liked to have met them? Of course. That would have been a great honor for me to have somebody introduce their children into my life, but not then. It was something that it was like, okay, well, let's see where we're at in 6 months. Let's
Her dad's sitting there like, you're talking too much.
You and me are still, happy with where we're at, and you think that this is something that is going to be long term.
How about
and
just
worth
no,
bringing
I
your
haven't met his
children
kids.
into the picture? Then yes, I would love to meet them, but it's like not right now. You are still in this situation where you're not even completely out of it, and I'm getting in it, and that's not fair for them.
Yeah,
that was kind of the policy.
That is the true statement right there. She was in the situation. She said that right. She was in that. She inserted herself into the situation. That is freaking correct. That is correct. You did. Hi, Emmett. Hey, welcome. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Yes, thank you very much. Right? Me too, Ronnie. Me too. Me too. Me too. Uh-huh. That's right. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Yep. Thank you much. Thank you much.
With him was it was just like yes, but not yet.
So did he ask to introduce you to his children?
Not at that time.
Okay.
I think both him and I were on the same page of eventually if things went as they should. In
I understand you guys'
relationship.
relationship is very new and young.
Yeah.
So although it was short, I just laying everything out helps us understand what actually was going on with him. And
Yep.
I might ask you a question and you're going, why the heck would he ask me that? Probably because I have information that I'm not willing to share with you, and I'll tell you.
Uh-huh.
I'm
See,
not
there it
gonna tell you. Some
is.
questions I'm
Casey asked me earlier, why do I think she's being hesitant? Right there. Because I have some information I'm not willing to share with you. She doesn't know what that information is. That's why she's being so weird and throwing word salad in there, because when you throw the word salad in there, it messes everything up. It's just blah, 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 blah. Kind of like the teacher off of Charlie Brown. Wah, wah, wah. That's what she's doing. I know. I was thinking that, Ronnie. I was starting to say that. Oh, Miss Perfect, right? Like he's just never been around anybody like me. He's just so drawn to me. Blah, blah, blah. Like he can be himself. If I had a red flag, I'd throw it. A bullshit flag, I'd throw it. I just don't have one yet, but I'm getting one. I have one coming. So I can throw it. I can't either. I cannot. But when we watch the videos about her and the things she does, it helps you understand her more. And it helps me still feel the same way I feel about her involvement. You know what I mean? Yes. And I don't know where to find it because somebody else said they had a hard time finding it. So I probably won't be able to find it, but she actually stabbed somebody and got out of it. So I don't know where that happened at. So it'd be interesting to find it if that, and I've heard it from several different creators. So I don't think it's not true. I just think it's hard for, us to find the police report. Was bipolar. That was, I wouldn't doubt it. And he also said in an interview that, I'm going to see how he put it. I'll think on it and tell you how he put it. No one can convince me she was not. Oh, me either. Me either. There's too many things pointing in her direction. Too many things pointing in her directions. Yeah. Too many things pointing in her directions.
asking you, what the heck? I want to share some information with you. Just, it protects you, it protects our investigation. So if it seems weird, there's a reason I'm asking it,
That's
and
fine.
it's usually relative to what I know. So don't take offense to it. Again, it's just part of what we need to know.
Understood.
So just, you went to his house on 2 occasions.
Yes.
Was that recent?
No, that was like pretty early into it.
July
and I
4th.
Did not like it and did not want to go back.
Do you recall where the house was?
Yeah, it's like right off the highway in Frederick.
Okay. And you know the street?
She Googled Saratoga Trail. That was one of her Googles.
It's,
I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out again if I like really had to. Like off the top of my head, no.
Yes,
Do
you
you
were
know the
there
street
the
name?
morning of the.
No,
Okay.
I would have to like drive around in there to get there.
No,
Okay.
you won't. Stop
did it
it.
look like anybody else lived at that house at that
Oh,
time?
definitely.
Okay.
I mean,
So
the
is that
whole
what
thing.
freaked you out?
I mean, he told me that he was living in the basement. And he said, we're separated, but we're not divorced. And we're going to get ready to sell the house. And that was the impression that I was under. And I was under the impression that they were taking everything pretty slow with this, with like getting ready to sell the house. I mean, those are big things. So that's what I was informed. And I mean, if you think about it, this whole thing happened in a 6-week stretch. Like, it's not really that much of a time frame. So in that sense, like, it's believable to me. Yes, I went to the house, and the first time I was there, I hung out in their like front living room. I just sat on the floor, and it was on the 4th of July. It was the morning of the 4th, and I was helping him to set up MyFitnessPal app and like track his food, his calories and stuff, because he does pretty good with the working out and stuff. And
And if I'm not mistaken, that was when Shanann was trying to get in touch with him on the 4th, and he wasn't answering the phone, or he was ignoring it, and he told her he fell asleep on the couch or something. I forgot what bullcrap thing he told her. But there was like several times that day, because it was the 4th of July, she tried to get in touch with him, and he wasn't answering, like he was ignoring her phone calls and stuff. Well, now you know that's why, because he was with Nicole.
He's like, can you help me just like get this dialed in? It's like, yeah, I can do that. So that he invited me up to the house, and I was already kind of hesitant to do it, because I was like, there are other people that live here, and I just felt like it was an invasion of space. And so I went up there, and we just stayed in that front room, and I helped him out with that, and got him all set up with that. And then, he asked me if I wanted lunch, and he grilled chicken and carrots. And then that's all he had. And I was like, okay, so we
See?
So we ate, and then I left.
I just talked about that. I just talked about him grilling chicken on the grill, but he grilled 4 chicken breasts. That's what he grilled. You would be able to get right. Thank you. Because her phone pinged that morning. And that wasn't the first time her phone pinged there. It was just the first time her phone pinged there on her way to work, because that's not the route she had taken before, ever. So why are you going to go out of your way to go to work that way? And then you don't clock in to after 2:00 on that day. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then there was another day about, I can give you the date-ish. Look at a calendar. I think it was the weekend after my birthday.
Just a thing on the courtesy for the phone for, what was that guy's name, Don?
This gentleman,
Oh,
Thornton PD. I just met him today.
oh,
Do you want to do the
I
phone
forgot
today?
about that.
For TPD?
It's not for them. They're doing it for us.
Yes.
We don't have the equipment with us to do it, and I asked them to do it for us. They're not involved in this investigation. He would just be a computer person. He would not be looking at any of this stuff. That would fall to myself. So keep that in mind. He's not involved in this investigation. Thornton PD has nothing to do with this, other than letting us use their facility and helping us with some electronic download. He's not going to look at your phone right now. He's going to put it on a disc, and they're going to give it to me.
Gotcha. I don't know anything. I really want to help you guys. I do. I feel like this whole thing is just going to be crazy regardless of whether I give you my phone or not. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. Like, it's happening. It's going to happen.
Well,
She's worried because she doesn't know how much they can retrieve that she's already deleted. And that's why she's afraid to give it to him, because she looked up, can you retrieve text from cell phones? She looked that up. She Googled that. So she's worried that they're going to get text that she's deleted, because she told Chris to delete text. She told her friend to delete text before the murders. Why would you tell them to do it before? If there wasn't something you didn't want somebody to see, you know what I mean? All over the house, because she mentioned seeing pictures. And if you go back and look in the Watts house, I don't remember seeing any family pictures in the immediate living room. I could be wrong. I thought all the family pictures were like down the hall and in the other room, that's off the kitchen. That's where I thought I seen all of the pictures at. So if she mentioned seeing pictures, she had to have been in another part of the house. Had to have been. In my opinion.
Well, the text
Media's just
reiterate what
gonna-
you've been saying all along, so it's not like,
Well, they do. That's the other thing too. I mean, that's kind of a good backup. Yeah, I'll give
I
it
think
to 'em.
you hit the nail right on the head. There's reasons why we want everything. It validates things that we know. I'm not gonna come out and tell you that if you tell me something today, we'll validate it with your text messages, whether it's the ones we have now
I
or the
will-
ones you're gonna give us.
I'll give it
Certainly.
to 'em. If you want to.
There you go. See there?
It was,
I want you to read this, is what I want you to do before you decide that, okay?
So the second time I went to that house, I'm not sure what day it was, but it was the weekend of the 14th.
Of August, July?
I don't know if it was the 14th or the 15th. One of those 2 days. But we had went out and we stopped there just real quick on the way back. And we were there not very long. But that time I saw a picture
See?
of his wife and one of his kids. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, she's so beautiful.
I am going to go back and I'm going to look in the living room. And I'm going to see if there's family pictures in there. Because if there's not, then she had to have walked through that house. Yes. Yep. I agree. I agree. Because she knows that Chris was in the basement. So you have to walk out of the living room and down past, not into the kitchen, but past the kitchen. You have to walk past the stairs and down that little hall to go to the basement. So you would have seen the laundry room. You would have seen the office, Shanann's office. So in my opinion, she walked all through that house. Just like you think so, Eve. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to look and I'm going to see if there's any family pictures in the living room. Because there's plenty of videos that we can go back and look and see.
And I took a step back and I was just like,
And for the record, she gets really whiny here. So you're going to love this. She gets really whiny here with So if she got on your nose before, she's fixing to really get on it now.
this man has a gorgeous house. He has beautiful babies. He has a beautiful wife. He has an awesome job. Like, why would he want to leave this? And I remember talking to him about it. And that was the first time that I tried to actually say, what do you think about not separating from your wife? Like, what if you really try to work on this? And he had expressed to me that we've tried to work on this and it's not working. So that is why we're separating. And I spent some time, like, just, you know, kind of, because it almost made me feel bad, where I was like to the point where I'm engaging in a relationship with a man who, the way he described it, is in a contractual agreement, but was not in like an emotional relationship with somebody. And for me, the way I would have preferred to do this is to have waited till that contractual agreement was also done and he was done.
Okay, so now we're distancing ourselves. We are distancing ourselves from this whole thing. So they're in a contractual agreement, not an emotional one. So there was never any love there. They've got two kids and a third one on the way, which is a child. And there's no emotion there. None. This is just contractual. So now she's distancing herself from it to try to make it seem like, well, he really didn't love him anyway, so it was ending anyway, so I wasn't the cause of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a contractual agreement, not an emotional one. So, like, you can just turn around and leave somebody that you've been with for all those years and your kids, and there not be any emotion there. So she's very much distancing herself from that, which tells me she has no type of maternal instinct, no type of I don't even empathy. She doesn't have any type of empathy either, like Chris. Well, she is that. She gets whinier. She gets whinier. I would also marry a woman for, actually, that's a terrible business decision too. Right? Right. 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 That's what she's treating it like. He's getting out of the contract is ending. Well, her contract ended with Anadarko shortly after this happened. So she's acting like Chris is ending a contract for a job, right? This is contractual. It's not emotional. Really? Well, maybe for him it isn't, but what about Shanann and the kids? You don't think they would be hurt? So freaking aggravating. Oh my God. Get my pressure up.
And he could have approached me and said, I'm just had a divorce, maybe we could take this slow. What do you think? But instead it was, oh, we're separated and we're working on a divorce. And that is the part that I feel bad about, because
No, you don't.
I should have waited on that and I didn't. And, I was just like, well, they're already there. So, but then being in a house was just like, why? Fix this. Find a way to fix this. Make it work, and I was like trying to push him to do it.
He
and
was
he
not. Stop it.
seemed pretty reluctant to do it. He didn't want to. And I don't know. We were still
Well, according to Chris, she gave him an ultimatum. Them or me. But here she's saying she told him to fix it. Well, he can't fix it if you're texting him and calling him and offering him weird things and bringing him to your house and inviting Jim over. Wives are expensive. We spend money on you ladies because we love you. Oh, financially we lose every time. But emotionally it's fun, isn't it? Emotionally you enjoy buying for us. You love it. It makes you feel good because you made us feel good, right? They are. Especially when you get into cars and things. Right? She didn't mean that. Side chick didn't mean that. Old rake. The old rake didn't mean it. The rake didn't mean it. She didn't mean it. The rake didn't mean it. She did not. And they have no reason to be bossy. I mean, she had no kind of, she should have had no kind of say, pull, opinion. She was not important in the big scheme of things. She would have always been second. Even if he'd have got a divorce, she would have always been second. Always. Because his kids should have been first. My ear stopped up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He did. And see, that's what people are like, well, Shanann was overbearing and mean. Well, because Chris liked it that way. He was like that his whole life. He was submissive like that his whole life. He did what his mom said. He did what his sister said. He was always like that. He just did it. You know, he just did what they told him to do. And it wasn't even because he didn't want to. He wanted to. He was submissive because he wanted to be. He agreed to it. He didn't have to agree to do all the stuff that he did. He could have said, I don't want to do that anymore. I want this or that. You know what I mean? But he agreed to it all. And it's kind of part of his personality, which there's a documentary I'm going to show that explains a lot. And it makes you kind of understand a lot more about him and why he did what he did. Right. You're already number 2. Right. You're always going to be. You always will be. Exactly. But guess what? You're still number 2, which is, guess what? You know what number 2 is? Number 2 is usually in the toilet. And that's what you are, a piece of that. A piece of number 2. That's what you are. And say she was going to strangle him. Very odd. That's how he allegedly gets. And sometimes I say that and out of funniness, like, you know, I'm going to strangle you. I mean, I'm going to choke you, or I don't say it like all the time, but I was like, oh my God, I'm going to choke you. I don't say strangle, I say choke. But, you know, I don't think she literally meant it like that. But yeah, she did say that from time to time. Yeah, she did. I think she's actually said it on one of her Facebook things. Yes, she would have been. Yeah, because she would have been jealous, especially because they're girls. You know what I mean? Girls are different. She would have been I think she would have been more jealous because they're girls. I think. Well, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nasties. Nasties. Yeah. Well, she fits number 2 perfectly.
Seen each other fairly frequently, but I kind of like backed away so we weren't hanging out quite as much, and we were still close, but it was just like I really wanted him to try. Like I wanted to know that he tried and it didn't work, and then he moved on. Not
That means that's the bullshit bell.
that, you know, they both kind of tried and then he got himself into a situation with somebody else. And I don't know. I just thought he had a beautiful life going on and he could have made it work. That was the way I looked at it from the outside.
So is this something you reflected on since this event, or was this you?
No, I was doing it then. Like
You said this doesn't look right. He's kind of, I don't want to be responsible for breaking up a marriage, especially with 2 children. Is that kind of the gist I'm getting here?
I didn't think it didn't look right. I mean, I think he was legitimately sleeping in the basement, and I didn't think that these 2 were. I mean, I think it was like, hey, we're both stuck in this house for now. We got to sell this. In the meantime, you live here. I live here. We sleep in different rooms. Take care of the kids. That's just like kind of how I took that. And
That's
no,
not
I
how
didn't
it
think
works.
it didn't look right. I just thought it just seemed like he had so much going on, and it was just beautiful that I was like, why don't you just try this out, you know, and see if you can fix it? And he'd always be like, well, what about us? What about us? I'm like, don't worry about us. Like, that is more important. Like, try to see if you can like salvage whatever it is that you have going on with your wife.
Bullshit.
And you know, I always got the impression that he was a great father to his kids, like always. And so, you know, I was like, and be the dad that you want to be. I was like, and see if you can make it work. And he just, like, we kind of talked about it off and on for like a few weeks, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I think I was kind of like cold feet about it when I went after I went over his house. And so this was like pretty early on. And then he told me that he went to North Carolina, and he was like, I'm gonna talk to her when I'm in North Carolina and see if I can get her to do this, to like try to like rekindle the flame.
Okay, so try to salvage his relationship as you've been asking him.
Yes, and then if he
We know that's a lie too. Because when he went to North Carolina, he gave Shanann oxycodone, and it made her really sick. That's why she was sick. He was trying to get her to miscarriage the baby. I guess in his mind, if the baby wasn't there anymore, Nico wasn't there anymore, then it would have been easier to leave. I'm not really sure what his thoughts were there, but he did say he did try to do that. That is true. He said, I did try to do that, but I will never say where it came, where it came from, the stuff came from. So he wasn't going there trying to rekindle anything because everybody said he acted weird. Even the kids didn't want to be around him. They said that they got in the car to drive to the beach, and he was driving like extremely fast, like reckless, and that Sandy had texted Shanann and said, slow down, you're losing us. He's driving over 80 miles an hour, and from behind it looks like he's driving really reckless with you and the kids in there. So he was acting really weird when he flew there to fly back with them. Always blows my mind that some men decide murder. Yeah. The thing was, in my opinion, I think the girls were never supposed. That was never supposed to happen to the girls. I think Shanann, but I don't think the girls. I think somebody else did that. That's my opinion. I don't think the girls were the intention to begin with, but I think right there at the end, I think that 111-minute call was about that. And I think she did, just like he said when I went in there, she had her hands on my daughter. I don't think he meant Shanann. I think that part is true, but I think he was talking about Nicole. I don't think he was talking about Shanann. Right? It did. It did seem a lot easier.
When did you go to
decided-
North Carolina?
I think it was like the last week of July, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So I mean, this was like a couple weeks that I was just kind of like trying to push him to do that.
Let's pause at North Carolina, and we'll come back to that real quick. I want you to read this. If you don't understand what it means, then ask me the question. But basically what it says is you have the right not to let me look at your phone. I'm asking to look at your phone for the purposes we previously discussed, for the text messages and your phone log, and unfortunately the photos that are attached therein too. That information is only relative to this investigation. I'm not looking at anything else except for the conversations between you and Chris Watts and the phone data between you and Chris Watts for phone calls for times and dates for those phone calls. And then the content of the text messages that are there. And we'll write that specifically down here. Understand
I just
that
don't want anybody to get some of those texts. Like they have nothing to do with this case, and they're just
Yes,
like,
they do.
between you and Chris.
yes,
Yes, they
just-
do.
They're just
So just tell me what your
They have
They're just-
everything to do with the case, even though they may be innocent text. I doubt it. They have everything to do with the case. Everything to do with the case. Because they prove that he was having an affair, which doesn't prove that she had anything to do with it, but it proves they were having an affair. It is part of the case. I don't see how she thinks that isn't. Him texting his mother is part of the case because it shows he was texting somebody else besides Shanann. It's all a part. He even texted his coworker right the morning of the murders. His coworker texted him and asked him how everything was going. Chris texts back, fresh, LOL. What do you mean by fresh? Is that after you dumped your family? Is that what that means? So all of that matters. I don't care what she's talking about. It all matters. You're right. Some men just don't want to pay anything towards the kids or the mama, so murder is cheaper. Yep. If they can get away with it, right? I'm not sure if they ping near the oil tanks. I will have to look that up. I'm not sure on that one. Yes, she doesn't, but it matters. Everything he says, everything they text each other matters. If it didn't matter and if it wasn't a part of the case, then why did she delete it? Why did she delete it if it's not a part of the case? Yeah. Yep. Yep. I can't believe she just said that. That doesn't matter. Yes, they're just, they
it's
matter.
kind of raunchy. Like
Okay,
I
well,
don't need anybody.
See, she
everybody's an
I don't need
adult.
that.
They're raunchy. That's why she doesn't want them. That even tells me even more they need to be a part of it. They're raunchy. She doesn't want them to see them. Okay? Well, then why are you texting raunchy crap? Because you know somebody might see that. They're raunchy because you're nasty. You're nasty. You're nasty. Right? Exactly. Or somebody that you're seeing that you wanted to spend, that you thought annihilating your family was worth it. You want to be with somebody that would be willing to do that? That's my other thing. You're willing to be with somebody that's willing to do that, whether it's one or the other. You know what I mean? I'm the king of foul language. If they think I do this and if I get caught up, I end up. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And I would say it if I could get away with it.
Posted like
We're not going to
somewhere.
post it.
I don't want
only
the
ones
newspapers to get that. That's all I want.
The
We
only
wanna
ones
see
that
it.
we would be
Not get
looking
that.
for, again,
We
is the
wanna
same
see it.
kind of questions we're getting to here, is things about his children, things about
Understood.
his wife, the
Understood.
questioning of, did he ever, has he ever said something to you that might indicate, maybe not then, but now, that there was something like this in his mind? Or you know what we're looking for. I don't need to come out and tell you that. I understand the embarrassment of particular photos or potential
We
sexual.
want to see the text where you said, just pawn the ring. That's what we want to see, because you did text that.
Types of conversations you may have had with Chris, it's not relative to the
She don't want us
investigation.
to
We don't
see the
care.
booty call
Okay.
ones.
You're an adult. I'm an adult. Everybody in this room, even your dad. And I give it to you for saying that stuff in front of your dad, because I'm not sure many women could do that.
He shouldn't be in
That's
there.
not what we're
That's
after.
the point.
We're after the information that corroborates things that you've told us, and also that corroborates or may tend to prove that things that Chris told us were a lie. You understand that?
Nope,
And that's
you
maybe
don't.
going a little bit far. I usually won't tell people that, but because of your reservations, that's what I'm looking for. If I can disprove something he's told me by a phone records don't lie. People do. So if I can
There you go. How about that? Phone records don't lie, but people do. Like Pinocchius right there, lying. Right? That's what I'm saying. I mean, and for the record, he deserves to get embarrassed. He shouldn't even be in there with her. So if he gets embarrassed, good on him. Good. I hope he did.
disprove something that may be important, that's what I need it for. I'm not saying I can. Has it happened before? Absolutely. Is it critical in cases that I've worked in the past? Yes. So that's why I want it. Okay. Again, you don't have to give it to me. You can tell me I don't want you to have it. Go get a warrant. I'm not even going to tell you if I go get a warrant, try to get a warrant right now. I'm just asking for you to consent. And again, we can write right here what you're willing to give me, which is the text messages and the phone log. And unfortunately, again, the attachments on some of those text messages, and I'll write it on there, and then you'll just sign it. Okay. Do you understand the questions there? Do you have questions about any of the things that it says? You understand you don't have to do this. You're doing it of your own free will. And I know you're tired, so if you want to let your dad read it too,
Thank you.
that's a good idea.
Can you fill it out before I sign it?
Yep. And just you read it, and if you have any questions, then we'll put on there what we're after.
I'm so hungry.
You should have told me. I would have got you some food. I got food in my car.
It's not staying down. It's just coming.
Yeah.
He's got food in his car. He's offering it to her. I'm bringing that back, right? She is nasty. Oh my gosh, she's so nasty. Was a way she could self-guard herself. She wouldn't dare tell the whole truth in front of her dad, right? Mm-hmm. And he was controlling the narrative, because you'll hear him tell the detective, if we make it that far, because this is a long video, because the other one I saw was only like 30 minutes, but this one's like 3 hours, so we obviously aren't going to sit here and watch it, all of it, but we'll have to break it up in videos. But he tells him to stop asking questions, and I'm like, really? I mean, she really got away with so much. How they don't lawyer up immediately, thinking they can just talk their way out of it. Yep. Oh, right. He can't do what? Tell him to stop asking questions. I know, but he did. He sure does tell him that. He's like, careful. Yeah, he does. He actually does. And I'm like, why is the detective listening to him? That's my next thing. Why is he listening to him? And she's in a totally different room. She looks like she's like in a smaller room than they originally had him in. Right. But they listen to him. That's what's so aggravating about this, is her dad controls the narrative in here. And they listen to him. They stop asking her certain questions when he says it. So what kind of pull does he have that he would stop the questioning? Yeah, because we got nuggets from her interview. We did get nuggets from her interview. Yep. We sure did. He something. The DA. The DA. That's what I'm saying. The DA. Because don't know for sure, but, and I'm not saying this is bad. All of them are bad because I don't know. And I don't know if this is true, but there's a rumor that he is tied to the Freemasons. And with him being tied to the Freemasons, he was able to help her. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just another rumor that's out there. On the day of the tragedy, he changed his profile picture to a thing behind his head that said Watts. And it was the Watts on some type of machine. And it said Watts on the back, and it was a scale light. It was a machine. Why? That's odd. Why would you change your background to say that? So, yeah, and I'm not saying that he is one, and I'm not saying that that's what happened. It's just a rumor that I've heard. So, and I don't know it for sure.
I've been feeling good, not because of any, just
Like I got sick prior to
Jim.
this whole thing happening, and then I think all of this compounding with the
Stress.
fact that I'm sick, it's just not good. I've not really been eating or sleeping much at all.
Nobody cares.
yeah. I'm with you. We definitely need to accelerate the case because the more it takes, the less sure that they are of situations. But on the other end, I think if you do just that only,
You tell me what you're willing to provide
is
to
that-
me, and we'll
is that
write it
good?
up.
Because they're not sure of situations. What other situations are they not sure of? What are you talking about? Are you talking about situations as in other people that are involved? How Chris did it all by himself? How he managed to get all of them out to the Survey 319 by himself? Is that the situations you're talking about? What situations are you talking about there? That was the dad talking. Yeah, yeah, right? Yeah, children are gone and their parents will never see them again or their grandkids ever again. And they were horrifically disposed of, and you're sick, and we're supposed to feel sorry for you. Nope. In whatever form it manifests itself in, always covers the men versus women, no matter how evil the crime is. Yep. So listen, I'm going to go back here. I want y'all to listen to this for a minute again. So this is the dad talking. Listen to what he says.
Whole.
Yeah, I'm with you. We definitely need to accelerate the case because the more it takes, the less sure that they are of situations. But on the other end, I think if you do just that only,
You tell me what you're willing to provide to me, and we'll
is
write
that
it
good
up.
enough?
I just want like our text conversation, and then I guess our phone call records.
So I'm going to put
So the time and date of the phone call records, and then our text message.
Could we
text.
get photos of him?
Huh?
Could we get photos of him?
Off of
Would you
that.
mind if we got his photos?
So you see what he just said? It would take more law and more situations. What did you mean by that? Yep. What did you mean by that? Mm-hmm.
Those that he sent to you?
Oh, well, there'll be in that text message thing.
So all his photos were sent, there was no apps or anything else used
No,
that you
no,
guys
no,
were
no,
sending? It was all
no.
just text messages?
Yeah,
So it'd be an attachment to a text that he sent you?
pretty much.
But,
Everything is in the text and the phone call records,
so,
like all of it.
because we don't have it on tape, we discussed prior to turning the tape on Tuesday, which would have been the 14th of August, you had read some newspaper articles on the 13th and the 14th.
Well, we know that's a lie because they have the calculator app. So she's lying to him now about communication. So there are apps that y'all were using. Right. See, he's like babying them. I was going to say another word, but I probably shouldn't on here. He was babying them. And he's letting them tell him what they're going to do. They sure do.
14th that regarded this case. You had also had a conversation with Chris at some point during the day on Monday. And on Tuesday, because of what you found, specifically what you said was, and I don't let me put words in your mouth, but you found out that his wife was pregnant.
And yes.
And you did not know that prior. And you found that out via the newspaper articles, and that
Lie.
caused you
That's a lie.
concern.
Well, I just realized that he was lying to me, and I was like, well, if you can lie to me about this, what else are you lying to me about? And it made me realize that maybe his wife was in danger at that point, and it was day two, and she still wasn't home.
What did that cause you to do with your phone, though?
Oh, what? When I deleted those? I was just kind of grossed out by him, to be honest with you. I was just like, I don't know what's going on right now, but you just lied to me, and I don't want to see this come over my phone anymore. So I removed it.
So you
That
you
sounds
already
so
said that you removed
stupid.
text messages.
I deleted all of his stuff because he lied to me. I mean, that's what it was. It was the hurt that made me delete it.
No,
And then it was the lie that made me start questioning everything else he'd been telling me for the last.
so just say she was innocent. Just say she was innocent, right? We know she's not. But if you felt that way, so grossed out that you felt like he could have harmed his wife, and now his wife was missing, and then you just found out all of this stuff, and you felt like something could be wrong and he could have hurt his family, why didn't you go to law enforcement right then? Why didn't you say, I didn't know his wife was pregnant and we were having an affair and his family's missing. Maybe he did it. If you felt that strongly about it, why didn't you go to law enforcement right then? Because you didn't feel that way about it. That's not because you didn't feel that way. She's lying. Right? Right? Right. Yeah. If you suddenly got the creeps and you think that he could be responsible for his family missing, why didn't you go? Why didn't you go to law enforcement and say, okay, this is what I know and this is what I think? You didn't. Your coworkers turned your butt in, and then you had to go in and say something. And he don't even say that to her. He don't even say, well, why didn't you come to us? He might, but I don't think he does.
Last few days.
And that's when you decided to come forward.
Yes.
See, now he's making
just
it
for
look like
context,
she came forward.
yes.
She
When
didn't.
people delete stuff off phones, usually we go,
No,
Hold on a
no,
second.
no. It
And
wasn't
that's why I wanted-
malicious at
right.
all. It
Yeah, no, I'm
wasn't
not saying it's
malicious at
malicious,
all. He lied to me. It just hurt. Like I had never felt like he'd ever lied to me before, and it was a big lie. I mean,
Right.
telling somebody that you're in the midst of a divorce and then have a wife that has a 15-week-old baby on the way is a huge,
A
huge
15-week-old
thing.
baby
And
on
I
the
was
way?
very taken back, and I was just, it was hurt. And so at that point, I
Bullshit.
like deleted it. I had a few more quick things to say to him, and then I just got rid of him. That's literally what I did. I just cut him out of my life. It would have honestly been like a bad breakup kind of thing. Like if none of this other stuff would have happened, that's what it would have been.
But
That would
yet
have
you
been the end
talked
of
to
it.
him
The
after that.
information was not destroyed because there was anything in there that would be harmful to you or potentially to Chris at this point, but harmful.
Now, why would she tell him, "Oh yeah, I deleted stuff that you need for the"? Of course, I deleted stuff that was important, that would help you with this case. Sure, I deleted some malicious stuff. Yep, she's not going to tell you that the stuff she deleted was important or would get her potentially in trouble. She's not going to tell you that. Wow. She didn't go. He's like, and then you came forward. She didn't come forward. They're trying to make it seem like she came forward. She didn't. She did not. She didn't. Because she was talking to him that night. She didn't delete, she wasn't so grossed out by him that she deleted all the stuff because they were talking that night when he was over at the friend staying, because he didn't stay at the house. They were talking back and forth that night. So if you were that grossed out by him and you deleted all the stuff and you didn't want to have any no more part of it, why were you still talking to him? Why were you still communicating with him? And the coworker that also turned her in, I guess, I don't know if he turned her in or what do you want to call it. He also told them that they had, her or Chris, I don't know, I don't remember which one he said, had a burner phone. He also said that too. He also told law enforcement that too. After finding out the man that was sleeping with unlocked. Right. Right. But she was still talking to him. She was talking to him while the whole time he was on his phone, while he was over at Nate's, and I bet it was her he was talking to the whole time. Because he kept texting and looking at his phone. Who else would he be talking to? Who else would he be he kept being looking at his phone, taking it out of his pocket. Who else would he be wanting to talk to while his family's missing? Why would you be on the phone that much if your family's missing? If you didn't have anything to do with it. Because he was constantly on the phone.
You in particular, that's not what you did it.
No.
You did it out of, excuse my language, this guy's an asshole, so I'm getting rid of him, and I'm getting this stuff off my phone.
That was like me kicking him out of my life.
Okay.
And then, like I said, and then realizing that he lied, that was when I was like, okay, maybe his family is in danger and they're not coming back and they're not staying with a friend.
Yeah, when did I go over there? Tuesday morning?
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday.
I called you Wednesday morning.
That's when we started discussing, you guys need to get everything that it just,
You can understand the importance of,
oh, no question, we were,
like I said, people lie, phone records don't, and they really help specifically establish dates and times. I think we have a very good grip on that in this case already, but there may be a time when we go, we need to know something else, and then we would have it. We don't want to lose it, and that's really what it is for us. Is if we lose information that later on we go, man, I wish we would have got that, and we may never even use these. We may never even look at them, but if we have it now, then we don't worry about losing it. So I appreciate you being cooperative and giving it to us.
Yeah.
So the first thing I wrote was text messages between Chris Watts and attachments. Okay, so because we're talking about the photographs, unfortunately, that cause you much disdain. And then I am going to put phone log for calls between yourself and Chris Watts. Your phone number is 720.
656-9605.
I bet you don't have that phone number anymore. Call it. No, don't call
Just
it.
right now.
Just
is
kidding. Don't call it. Don't call it. Oh, hi, Linda D. Hello. Welcome. Murder phone system. You need to get us the deets on the coworker. I wish there was an interview of him. I know. I will look up. The reason I know he did that was because in several of the videos I've watched from several creators, they said that he did. But I need to find out which one it was, which coworker it was, and that way I can see if I can find a video on it. Only humans can be evil, so as to my baby's liver, she was responsible. That's even worse, especially in one. Right. And her phone pinged there that morning. And the video of the garage video where Chris backs his truck up in there is 2 different people walking out of that garage. And one of them has a ponytail. And my thing is, she didn't know that would be out there, right? They weren't expecting that information to be out there or that camera to be working. And if they've got her on that camera, I feel like they've got her on other times. So I don't think that was something that they expected to happen. So that was the other thing that she had to worry about was that video. Yeah. And I think there's enough evidence they could reopen the case and look at it and look at her. I think they should. I think they should reopen the case and look at her. For sure.
We're at the Thornton Police Department. It's going to be moved to so this is kind of doesn't make sense, but we're here. It's going to be moved to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. He's going to download it here, but I'm going to take it with me, just so you know. It's not staying here.
Okay.
They're not going to retain any of this. This comes with me. Okay?
Anything else you want on there? I think that's about,
That's it. I mean, I don't have social media. I don't really have anything else you guys can pull.
Okay.
What about
Is there anything else
Snapchat?
you know of that could help us?
What
with
about
this
Skype?
That is not on this sheet,
As far as like data,
that's on your phone?
no. I mean, everything we did was like text and talk pretty much. I mean, and like I said, any pictures that I had, like even if you were to restore all my regular photos, there's so many pictures in there and you wouldn't even know which ones were for him and which ones weren't. But
Yes,
any
we would.
picture that I wanted to send to him, I sent via text. So if you guys go through the text and the attachments, you will have everything that wasn't said verbally and was done via text. But I think that's it. Like I don't have anything else.
So
As far
she's sitting here lying to him, telling him she doesn't have anything else. And we all know that's a lie because we know that the calculator app is out there. And Chris had that on his phone. So I don't know why she just didn't say, well, we had a calculator app, because she should have known they were going to see it on Chris's phone. She should have known. I don't understand why she keeps saying that. Show your slut photo. Right. He's in there. I mean, he shouldn't be in there if he don't want to hear or see things, right? Too bad if he gets embarrassed. He's in there. This part's very interesting. How she tells him there is no other line of communication. They know she's lying. They have to know right here she's lying because they've already got Chris's phone. At this point, they have Chris's phone and they've seen the calculator app. They had to have. So they know she's lying about that, I would think, at this point. Because this is the 16th. Maybe they don't know, but I would think by now they would know. Because by this point, they should have already had Chris's phone.
Or like no Facebook, no Instagram, no Twitter, no LinkedIn, like none of it. So there was never any of that kind of correspondence. So I think that should probably cover everything you guys will need.
That
Is there any
should
particular messages that
cover.
would help me so I don't have to look at? Because whatever's on your phone, I don't know how long we're going to get back to, but let's say is there a particular date or time or message that stands out to you that would be relative to specifically to the investigation into this case that might assist me in understanding why something like this could have occurred?
I'm still in shock that this whole thing happened.
No,
I
stop it.
That's why I gave him the benefit of the doubt for the first day, because I was just like, no way. Like, I didn't even think about that. I mean, murder was not on the top of my mind when somebody doesn't come home for an evening, especially if they just like had some sort of like heated conversation. It's like, okay, you guys are separating, you have a heated conversation, you leave for a night. Like, I didn't even.
Okay, at this point, do they know that at this point they haven't found the body, so they don't know that it's murder, do they? At this point? So why would she say that? Murder was not even at the top of my mind.
Think this guy killed his wife. I mean, that like murder is on something on the top of my mind when I call one of my friends for 3 or 4 hours and she doesn't answer the phone. Like, that doesn't even process to me as like a real thing that is a possibility at that point. And so that's why I gave it a day. And then the second day I was talking to him, he was just like a hot mess, I could tell. And then with like the way he was talking to me, and then that's kind of when I cut him off and I stopped talking to him. And then
So remember what you just said, and we're going to get to that because that's probably a very important
yeah,
conversation.
so if you want to know
So, but-
days, I would probably honestly just start at like Sunday and work your way forward. I mean, all the rest of that stuff, it's just like the small talk of like, hey, this, you know? I mean,
And your relationship building through the 6
yeah,
weeks.
I mean, like, and if you go like maybe like a week further back, like there's times like I was trying to help him find an apartment, like just for him, not for me, but for him and his kids, to get set up. And like there's times where I'm like, well, where's your wife moving to? Like, how close is she gonna be to you? You should be within like 30 minutes of your kids, so they're close. And like, you want to be close to their school and close to your gym, and like, what's your price range? Like, I was helping him get all of this stuff set up, and it was like in a very decent manner. And I don't know if all of that is in text. Some of it's probably on the phone. Like, at this point, I've talked to him so much that I don't even know which parts are like verbalized and which parts are texted at this point, but we can figure it out.
Okay. You see what I wrote? Text messages between Chris Watts and attachments, and then the phone logs for calls between your phone number and Chris Watts. Those are the two things that we'll ask to be extracted from your phone. So if you're okay with that,
Why does it say items removed? Cell phone data. Isn't that this?
that is that, and that's what he's
Oh.
going to remove, and then that officer is going to fill that out.
Gotcha. What is the date? I don't even know what
Today is the 16th.
You want to add anything to this?
If you give us your
other
phone,
than
we'll get him
we-
started.
Yeah, we want to give you everything, but we also want to be protected in doing so. Is more of the
Sure.
thing. It's just,
And when he's done, we'll give you a
Is
copy
there a
of this.
password or anything, like, will it lock up after a
Yeah.
period of time?
So at this point, they were not found. So how did she know they were murdered? I bet it is too. I bet the juicy stuff's on the burner phone too. Yep. Because at this point, the 16th, they haven't been found. So how does she know they were murdered? You should have had a lawyer. Right. I'm glad she didn't. I'm glad she just rattled her mouth, right? Yeah.
that's what notes. And
Make sure there's nothing written on the back.
Thank you.
There's not. I checked before I read it off.
Let's go back to North Carolina.
Okay.
He went to North Carolina and he was trying to rehab his marriage with his wife?
He
Do
said.
do you
he
know
was-
her name at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay saying her name?
It's Shanann.
All right. And do you know the children's name?
Yes, it's Bella and Celeste.
This is the only time I think I've heard her say their name. Most of the time, she says the wife or her, or, you know, she keeps herself distance from saying their names. Like that thing, like, you know, distancing herself from them, like making them not real by not giving them a name. You know what I mean? They're not important to her, so they don't get a name. They don't get any of that. Yeah. How does she know at this point it's a murder if they haven't been found? Because they could be just gone somewhere, like she originally said. They just ran off. Oh wait. Some way, somehow, it involved the insurance money and it backfired. There's a lot of insurance money on Shanann and the kids. No, she did not want any right. She didn't want any baggage. Nope. They were, and the thing with the insurance money, though, they wasn't really thinking, because it would have taken a while to get that insurance money. It would have taken them a while to get it, because they would have had, you know, they would have been missing, and you got to be missing so long before you can get insurance money. So I don't know what their thought, how they thought they were going to get it fast. But the ring, there was a text where she says, pawn it. Pawn the ring. Because she said I think somebody said that he said, I don't know what I'm going to do with the ring. She doesn't want it. And that's when she said, well, pawn it. Okay. We're going to listen to probably about 10 or 15 more minutes, and then we'll call it for tonight, because this is a long video. It's like 3 hours. So
She went by, they called her Cece. All right. So he went to, were they in North Carolina
They were already
already?
there.
If you want something.
I don't know if my stomach can do that.
oh, stop it.
Yeah, they were already out there. He just flew out there to go meet up.
Do you know why they were there?
They're all from there.
Okay, so they were there
They
for,
were visiting her family for the most part.
For not to know anything about him, she knows
And
a
they
lot.
still were mostly visiting her family.
okay. Hey, do you know how long they had been there?
A while, like weeks.
All right. And he flew out to join his family there.
Yep.
Do you know specifically where he flew to?
What airport?
No. What city?
No, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'm sure if I thought real hard, maybe I could think about it.
Oh,
but
yeah, you
I
know.
mean, come up with it. No,
You
I don't
know.
All right. So he goes there. How, you said it was like the last week of July?
I think so. I think it was like one of the last days of July. I'm almost positive. I think it was a weekday.
Okay.
Yeah, he flew out there, and I thought I had like convinced him to like try to make peace with her, and I was like, if you guys work on this, like, I'm out. Because what's the point? Like, I'm not trying to be with somebody that's in another relationship, which I know that
But
sounds
you-
silly given the whole relationship that we
Oh my God. But you are with somebody that's in another relationship. You already are. You're already doing that. They were. I know. She's already in a relationship with somebody that's married. What do you mean? I don't want to be in a relationship. You already are. Oh my God.
had in the first place, but I really was under the impression that they were separating.
No, you
I mean,
wasn't.
it was like reiterated to me so many times that that's what I thought it was. And it made sense to me too, because like he could pretty much call me whenever he wanted. Like I was the one that would tell him like, hey, when your kids are awake, you need to spend time with your kids. Like do that. And then after they go to bed, like if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. But it was never like this super, super restricted thing. Like sometimes like right after work, if I was like still talking to him, I get kind of bummed out, and I tell him, just like, oh, it's frustrating sometimes, like having to like wait, but at the same time, I was never like, this is horrible, or it was always like, I understood why.
But
That
you're in a relationship and you're saying you don't want to be in one, but you are. And the other thing too, I think the reason, and I was going to say this earlier, that I think she's been there more than she's saying is because she said that her and Chris would go to the gym and work out a lot. But then they asked her, where did Chris have a membership at? She's like, oh, he didn't have a membership. He had a gym at his house in his basement. Okay, so did you go to his house and work out with him in the basement? I think you did. I think you slept down there with him because I think that was your mask that was downstairs on the bed. The sleeping mask. I think it was yours. That's what I think. So I think you went there with him and you worked out a lot with him. And I think you slept on the floor, or slept in that bed with him downstairs. Hey, Megan L. I think she was in the area that morning. Her phone. Yep, it sure did. It pinged there. I've got that as a short on my channel. If you want to go look at it. But yep, we've talked about her ping. Yep. Yes, for letting us use your videos. Yes, we do. Thank you. Yep. So she says they go to the gym several times, and they're like, well, did you go to your gym? She said, yeah, we would go to my gym, but I think they would go to his. I think they would go to his gym and work out, which was in his basement. But that's just my opinion. And my ear is so stopped up. Oh, I hate that. It's a few more minutes.
His kids were asleep. He never had any. It was like he could do what he wanted. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
He was in his basement and she's upstairs and they're not speaking. So it kind of made sense. It wasn't like.
And you guys are
sneaky
just
at night.
texting and
Or talking or whatever,
Right.
I mean, and it was like I said, it was at certain times, but that time, and originally it wasn't, but it was me that put that time frame on there because I thought he should hang out with his kids.
Those 2 times you were at his house, did you see any evidence of that? Him living in the basement? Did he ever show you that area? Or anything?
I've seen it. Yeah, I went down there and saw his little workout.
See?
equipment, and there's a
There
bed
she
down
goes.
there
I
also.
went down there. Which means she had to pass the kitchen. She had to go through the hall, which she's seen Shanann's office, the closet that's right across from that. She would have had to go through there and go down those stairs to see the basement. So she's been there more than twice, in my opinion. Because the first time she said we just sat in the living room and we didn't go anywhere. Okay, so did you go in there the second time you went? I can't imagine Shanann letting Chris just hang right while she was at home. She would need him up. Exactly. And I don't think he was sleeping in the basement. Because I think Shanann's parents, had stayed there, and they slept in the basement. But I think when Nikki went over there, I think she slept in the basement. I think she stayed in the basement and slept there. That's my opinion on that.
Up in the basement was all clean and organized and stuff. So, like a decent bed set up. So it made sense to me. Like, hey, this is what's happening down here. So I saw it.
even though his family was in North Carolina for multiple weeks, it appeared that he was still living in the basement.
Well, and he told me sometimes he would like go upstairs and sleep if like he was home alone, because I know she'd like go on business trips and stuff. But he's like, I don't like that bed anyway, so he didn't really like sleep up there. I was like, okay. Even when it was just him. So
Okay.
that was the impression that I got. I don't know what you're talking about. North Carolina.
Go back to North Carolina.
So North Carolina. So he still made very frequent communication with me when he was out there, and at
Very
one point,
frequent
he told me that
communication.
they sat down.
But
And they
yet
talk-
you ask him to go there and rekindle things. But you're talking to him frequently. Okay. You're backing off and letting him try to rekindle his relationship with his wife, pregnant wife. But you're talking to him frequently while he's there. Okay.
About it, and he told her that he wanted to either fix things or like to try to fix things, and if she didn't want to fix them, then they needed to like move forward with the separation and like actually file for a divorce at this point was the impression that I got from this, and was what he told me. And so he said that she was like pretty receptive to just not trying. He was like, she seemed like she just wants me to go. He's like, when she has her mind made up, she has her mind made up, and that's what she wants. And he's like, she doesn't want to try anymore. And he's like, and neither do I really. And he was like, it's done.
Really?
And he's like, and then the next day, I don't even know what days these were. Sometime when he was out there, he told me, we're putting the house up for sale as soon as we get back. And I was like, well, that was quick. And he was like,
Okay, so that's not true either. Well, that's probably part of that's probably true, but Chris is the one that called the day it was either the day Shanann went missing or the day after. He called and he called a realtor, and he also called the girls' school and told them they wouldn't be there anymore. It was either the day of or the day after. I think it was the day of. He called the school and said the girls would no longer be there. They were not coming back. And then he called a realtor. Chris did. Mm-hmm. You could tell by Shanann's last text messages that the separation was all. Exactly. Yep. Sure was. She had no intention of that. They didn't talk about that when they were there. That was not even on her radar. She was talking about how he wasn't talking to her, how he wasn't communicating with her. She never said anything about a separation. Nope, you're right. Because I don't know that I've watched all of Shanann's Facebooks, but I've watched quite a bit. I think I've covered most all of them.
she's ready to go. And I was like, okay. And so I left it at that. And then he got back and I started asking him, like, what are you going to do? Because the Colorado housing market is fire and you guys are going to sell this house like real fast. And I'm like, you need to start looking for a new place to live. And I'm like, where do you want to live? And I was really trying to help him out. I'm like, do you want to get a house? Do you want 3 bedrooms so you have one and each of your girls have one? I'm like, do you want to, you know, like do an apartment? Like, what do you want? You know, where do you want to live? Because he's in Frederick, but that whole area over there is just like a bunch of small towns and you can kind of just pick and choose. Everything's kind of.
And this is the other thing for me on this. She had no intentions of backing off because the week that Shanann was supposed to come home, that week, she's talking about helping Chris find an apartment. So if you were going to back off and let him fix things with his wife, why are you discussing with Chris finding him an apartment the next week after Shanann comes back? And when are you going to find the time to do that? Because when he goes to work, he's going to have to come back. Shanann's going to expect him back home. So when are you going to get him to go with you to look at apartments? The only way you could do that freely is if Shanann and the kids weren't there, which is something that you knew was going to happen. They weren't going to be there. So you wasn't worried about how you were going to work around taking Chris to find an apartment. Because there's no way he could have done that with you and Shanann home with the girls. There's no way he could have managed all of that. No way. So you already knew something because you were planning to do that the week Shanann was back. How were you going to do that? You had no intentions of backing off. None. Right. And I bet if the separation went through, Shanann wouldn't let him have the kids after I bet she wouldn't. Yep. Yep. And you can't really blame her for being angry at him because he's the one that wanted the baby. Because in his prison interview, they asked him about it, not the one where they went to see him. And they asked him about the baby, and he said, well, yeah, I wanted it, but I didn't think it would happen that quick because it took us a while to get pregnant with Bella and Cece. He said, and this didn't take no time at all, just a couple of tries. He's like, so I was surprised that it happened so quick. That's why he said, when you want it to happen, it happens. That's why he said that. Because he wasn't I honestly thought they would keep trying, but by the time he would have enough time to leave. You know what I mean? He would have enough time she wouldn't get pregnant because it took too long the other two times. And he said, I was shocked that she got pregnant so quick because it took us forever with the other two. So, let's see it right here. Wow. I have to look at it. I haven't seen all the text between the two, but yes, it all happened at the end. Shanann had no doubt it was that bad. Yeah, she said, I had no idea it was that bad. Yep. Yep. Thank you. And I'm going to show her text. We're going to get to that. We're going to go show her text and her Facebooks. Videos and stuff. We're gonna show all that. But yeah, thank you, Megan, for that. Thank you for saying that. Yep. She had no idea. That's why all of this is such bullshit. It is all bullcrap. There was nothing. Now, he could have been telling her that. I kind of doubt it. I kind of doubt he was lying to Nicole. He might have lied to her a little bit, but for the most part, I don't think he told her they were getting a divorce. And I don't know why she would believe him, even if he did tell her that, because you can't get divorced in a state you don't live in. Not normally. I think you have to file for divorce in the state you live in. So how would he go to North Carolina and in the little short time they were there, how was he able to get a divorce when you don't live there? Because North Carolina has a year waiting period. Or they used to. You have to be separated a year before you can get a divorce. So I don't think she's that stupid. But the lie sounds good here. Right?
And so he told me, well, I like Brighton. And I was like, okay. And then he told me he wanted a 2-bedroom apartment, and he said he wanted one room for him and the other room for his 2 girls. And I thought it was kind of cute. Like, I remember telling him, I was like, yeah, me and my sister had bunk beds, like, at my dad's house. And I was like, when we were little girls, and me and my sister were the same age apart as him and as his 2 daughters, you know? So I told him, I was like, they're going to love it. I was like, they might be like stuck in one room together. I was like, but they'll become like best buddies. And it was really exciting. Like, I liked
No,
helping
you took
him.
that away
And
from
I just
him.
wanted
They
him
get that
to, like,
opportunity.
I don't know. This is what he told me he wanted. So I was like, well, I will help you do the research. But another thing that I really took care of was to be like, where is she moving to? I was never like, you know what, screw your wife, try to get full custody. None of that bullshit. It was always just like, you know, I'd ask him, I'm like, well, what kind of custody you guys gonna have? Because he at work, they're about to switch his schedule. So right now he's like a Monday through Friday, and they're about to switch these guys to 8 days on, 6 days off.
That's tough.
That's awesome. And I was asking him, I was like, are you gonna have your kids like on that set of days
Nope.
off? I was like, because that would work perfect, like 1 week on, 1 week off. And I was just like, you know, we just talk about it. And I'm like, what is your plan? And he's like, we haven't figured out exactly what we're gonna do about the kids yet, but he told me, he's like, Colorado's a 50-50 state and she's okay with everything 50-50. Like, he said that she was like on board with this because she wanted it too. Like, she was checked out of this relationship. So that was like how he made this sound, that it was like a very like kosher.
See, she's got to make him sound this bad to cover her ass. She's got to make it sound like it's all it was all him. All the lies, he was lying about everything. She's got to make him sound that bad so she doesn't look guilty and a part of it, in my opinion.
We're done kind of thing.
Did you ever give him like books or articles or anything to read about saving your marriage? Did you ever provide anything to him like that?
About saving his marriage?
Yeah, like how to recover a marriage or how to save your marriage. Or, you know, there's all sorts of publications and
No.
books out there.
No, but I did tell him, and I don't know if I did this through text or phone. That will be something
You know why they're asking her that, don't you? Because of the book they found in the trash. That's why they're asking her, did you ever send him any books, magazines? That's why they're asking. Because they seen it in the trash. And they want to know where it came from, which I think they know. It was in the package that it came in. Until this one, right, and she was pushing him. Yep, that's what he said. Yep. That's exactly what he said. Yep. Exactly what he said. Mr. Salem, he is talking today. Right. Thank you for coming in, Megan, and joining in with the conversation. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
you guys will, I'm sure, figure out. But I told him a few times, like, I think that you should take the time to read some articles about what separation does to kids. You know, and I told him, I said, when my parents separated, we were literally like 3 and 5. We were almost the exact same age as these little girls. And I told him, I said, you know, I was so young when it happened that it didn't really have like a big negative effect on me because I was so small that I didn't really process it too well. I was like, but I do have cousins that their parents got divorced when they were like 10, 11. And I think that it hit them a little harder, you know, and he's like, oh, they'll be fine, you know, and I told him, I was like, even though they're small and you think that they'll be fine, I was like, I think you guys should just read about it just so that you guys are prepared in case, you know, one of these two starts having a hard time with the fact that you guys aren't in the same house anymore, you know, and I would tell him, I was like, you know, there's pros and cons to it, like, because he was like getting ready to do it, and it would be like, you know, it's kind of cool.
Oh, she's so knowledgeable on that, you know, because they were little kids when her parents got a divorce. So that makes her so knowledgeable on it, right? That makes her so knowledgeable on it. Absolutely. We're glad you joined us. My 2 oldest girls all altered the same age as Cece and Bella at the time. This whole case it is so sad. It is sad, and You know, I have issues with the possibility of somebody else being involved, and you as law enforcement and as detectives and lawyers and judges are okay with other people possibly walking around that helped with this. I have issues with that. I have issues with that. I also have an issue that I didn't know this till recently. The DA's wife had a YouTube page channel, and he went on, she interviewed him about the case. And she went on about the case is over, it's done, whoever's got there. Nicole didn't have anything to do with it. I was quite shocked that he did that. And he also doesn't, he calls it the Frederick 3 or the Frederick triple murder. He doesn't even call it, he doesn't even say 4. He says 3. Yep. And he let her. He let her skate around the answer. Yep. There is Megan. She was busy tonight. She couldn't join us, but we'll have a live not to look in probably next week whenever she has a free night. Yeah, I didn't listen to it. I listened to it like the first 5 minutes, but it aggravated me so bad I couldn't stand it. So I had to get off. I couldn't continue to watch it. I couldn't. I could not. I was so aggravated by it because he was just like, I'm pretty sure he called it the Frederick triple murder, I think is what he called it. He was not even like, it was so aggravating. That's okay. It is okay. No problem. I get it when you got company. I get it. I totally get it. Let's see. How much more? We're going to listen to just about 8 more minutes of it. We're going to stop at an hour in because, like I said, this is 3 hours and 33 minutes. So we're going to watch about 8 more minutes of it, and then we're going to end it for the night.
2 Christmases, and like your parents get to go, be happy doing whatever it is they want to do with their lives, and they don't have to be in a situation that's probably not good for the kids because it's not good for those two, but at the same time it was like, just read. Like that's what I always used to tell him. I'd always tell him to like, I tell people to read about everything. Reading is so good for you.
So he, at this time, is telling you that, yeah, I am the guy trying to save the marriage and she doesn't want it.
That's what he told me.
Are you kidding? It's right opposite.
And and then he was like, she doesn't want it, so I'm not going to do it. And then it was like, we're filing for divorce, we're selling the house. And this was like all as soon as they were coming back from North Carolina, like boom, 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 boom.
Would you recall when he gets back from North Carolina?
No, I don't even know how long he was out there. I know it was like less than 2 weeks and more than 1.
Okay.
I don't remember.
So he comes back early August. Would that be fair?
Oh yeah, it was definitely like in the first 2 weeks somewhere.
All right.
Probably the second week of August at some point in that. I don't remember when.
Does his wife come back with him at that time? Or
Yeah, they all came back.
They all come back.
Now, he's back by the 11th of August because y'all went to the Lazy Dog and ate. So he was back by August 11th. And he was back by the 10th because he had a party to go to for the girls. So stop with the crap. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Because there's 2 more hours of this, so. Yes, MIB was good. It was good. It was good. She is so ridiculous. I don't even know if ridiculous is. Well, I've called her a few names. You'll have to rewatch the beginning and see the few names I've called her. I know for sure.
Came back. And then yeah, so he continues to just, you know, tell me that this is like what he wants. And so I took the time, and you will see that in the text too, where I like I found this apartment. It was perfect. It was so cute. I was like, it's in your price range. It's like 6 miles from the gym. It's 23 miles from work. I'm like, you know, it's super close to Frederick. It's going to be by your kid's school. Like, this is the spot, you know. And I told him, I was like, oh, keep looking for more places. And he's like, well, there's some that I want to go see too. And he actually had me thinking that he was going to go look at these places this week before all
Okay,
this.
so this is fairly recent then, if
Ooh,
we're
this
talking.
just happened, like in the last.
He's gonna
couple
go
weeks.
look at apartments
He wanted me to go
during,
with him,
when you say this week, are you saying
like this.
Monday
this
was the 13th?
week. Like this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So I told him, I was like, well,
So
pick
there
up-
you go. See, he was going to go look at apartments the week Shanann was back. How was he going to manage that? How was he going to go look at apartments with his wife and kids back? How was he going to manage that? The Lazy Dog. Yep, that's where they went to eat. Yep. Clearly. Why would Chris even listen to this woman about his kids? It's very obvious she has never been a parent. Exactly. Because the booty was that good, I guess. Literally. Oh, that's right, you are. Yeah, you'll have to maybe do a little live or something while you're in there. Because he knew he wouldn't be in the exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's no way he could have went apartment shopping. Oh, hey, Shanann, I'm home, but yeah, I'm going apartment shopping. There's no way he would have. He could have got away with that because he had to work. There's no way he could have got away with that. So why would you make plans to do that if your family was going to be there? And why would you, Nicole, the person that said, I'm going to back off and let you fix your family, why would you be talking to him the whole time he's in North Carolina? You shouldn't be talking to him while he's in North Carolina. You should be backing off like you said. That's another bullshit. Yeah, the booty. Oh, yeah, it was the booty. I mean, what about her makes you want to give up your whole family? I don't see nothing impressive about her. She's not pretty to me. She's aggravating when she talks. What kind of person is going to do what she does knowing that he has a baby on the way that she never talks about? You never hear her say, we need to find an apartment for you and the girls and Nico. You never hear her say that. She just says, we need to find an apartment for you and the girls. She never mentions the baby. There's going to be 3 of them, not 2. There's going to be 3. So why aren't you mentioning Nico? Because maybe you just think there's going to be 2 of them? Because 2 of them's not going to be there? But then you talk him into just 2, and then you flip the script and change it to where now they're all gone. But he's fallen. He's the one taking the fall for everybody, which he's where he should be. 100%. Chris is where he should be. But there should be somebody else there, in my opinion. I'll video up for the inside of the. Yes, do that. That'll be good. Yes. Did they have Life 360 then? I don't know. I don't know if they have they do the GPS off of his truck, because his work truck did have GPS on it, because they fix them with that so they know where they're going and where they're taking that work truck. So the work truck did have GPS on it. I would have thought Shanann's car would have had that on it, because that was a pretty nice car. All the Mistras are an impressive waste of space, right? Yeah, they are. Yeah. That voice drive just like, it's like fingernails on chalkboard. She pretended she didn't know Shanann was pregnant and found out on the news. Yeah, but she knew because she Googled Shanann. She Googled him in 2017, and I know she's seen the Facebook. You don't have an affair, I wouldn't think. I've never had one. But you don't have an affair with somebody and not keep an eye on the family goings on. You can't tell me she didn't watch Shanann weekly or daily or on a regular basis. You can't tell me that. Oh, I know. She's lucky to have her. We're lucky to have her, right? We're lucky to have her. That is hilarious. We're going to listen to that one too. Some of that is already on the Looking Glass. If you go over there from my live the other night, part of that interview is on, part of that drunken call is on there. Yeah, it's hilarious.
A few spots, and if you want me to come with you, I'll go look at them. But you know,
Really?
You said earlier that he had never, or that the apartment wasn't for you and him. It was just for him and his children.
oh yes,
It was, you had no intentions of moving in with him.
No, I have my own spot. I still have a lease there till July, and even then, like he never
Till
asked me to move in with
July.
him,
Okay.
and I never tried to move in with him.
July of the year that it happened, or July of the following year she has a lease? Because if it was till July, then her lease would have already been up, because this was August. So does she mean she had a lease till July of next year? Yeah. Yeah. Sounds just like her. Sounds just like NK. Sounds just like her. Yeah. Yeah, there's my tarot channel. It was so stupid. And the more she talked, the more she revealed. Probably that year. Yeah.
I mean, I told him, I really try to take everything with this whole situation very slow. The only part that I screwed up on was the fact that he wasn't completely separated from her when him and I decided to spend time with each other. That is where I screwed up. But other than that, everything else, it was always like, you know, you build your life, I'm going to build my life, we will intertwine them, but I am not ready to like do this. And he respected that. And I even said that, and I don't know, that might be in the text, but said that too, where it's like, Chris, like, you need space. Like, you're just getting out of a divorce. Like, personally, I think jumping into a new relationship is a little quick. It's like, I was in a relationship earlier this year, and I think this is also a little quick. And I'm like, so why don't we take our time? And I'm like, if you guys end up doing a week on, a week off with your kids, I'm like, the week you have your kids, be with your children. And the week that you don't, I'm like, I don't even want to see you every day. I'm like, I think we should spend like a few days of that together.
Wait a minute. I can't wait till my bullshit flags get here. She just said, I don't even want to see you every day. How many times did they say they did it a day? That is such a... okay. And the stupid little phone call where she left a message where she's giggling. I miss your face. Miss me with that one because either this detective is not very good at reading between the lines or something, because she protests too much. Miss Rake here. Miss Scuzzy Huzzy is so lying. Right? Right. Other than that, I'm perfect. Right. Right. And I think she was obsessed with Shanann too, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I wonder why. I wonder why she hadn't had a lot of relationships. She's kind of scary.
I'm like, because I like my space, and I think you need your space. I think you need your space to like develop your identity again and like get it back, because I think he's just been like so wrapped up in this whole thing that he's got in his own life and his
Oh, this
life
whole
that
thing called a
he doesn't
family?
remember probably what it's like to like be single or have time where it's like just him.
Sure.
And so I was just like, like embrace that. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I really try to like take it smart with all that. And it was the same thing with his kids. I was just like, like. And we talk about things every once in a while where I'd be like, hey, if I ever meet, because like I have a lot of house plants. That's a good example. So I have a lot of house plants, and I told him, I was like, one day if I ever meet your kids, I was like, I'm gonna show these girls how to like paint pottery and plants. I was like, I think they would love to see something grow that they built. I think it would be really, really cute. And like little stuff like that, but it wasn't very frequent. It wasn't, hey, we should get married, and hey, we should have babies, and hey, I want to live with you, and hey.
Yes, it was. You told him you wanted to have his first son. Oh my God. She told him, I want to have your first son. I want to give you your first son. Yes. Oh, yeah, I bet she did. Yeah. That's probably why they ratted her out. That's probably why they ratted her out.
Meet your children now, and let's cut the mom out. It was never like that.
And there was never any conversation about, we can't do this with her around. We can't do this with the kids around.
No.
He never said that. You never said that.
No.
So the way you guys were trying to make this work was just, slowly trying to come together because of his current situation, and you, by your own account,
Mine. I mean,
you're just a independent person. It sounds like pretty much,
yeah.
And but through text message or through conversation, he never said, "Hey,
he's not in a bad job that he needs to get out of. This isn't just like some bad situation that he needs to get out of. This is a marriage that he chose to marry Shanann. He went after her. She didn't find him. He found her. She's acting like it's a situation a bad situation he needs to get out of. It's way more than that. It's a whole life, a marriage, a kids, ups and downs, things you shared and done together. It's not just like, oh my God, it is so aggravating. What did Eve say? I think, yeah. Did she just say she wasn't a home? I'm going to go back and see. She did, Ronnie. Let's listen to it. Yes, you're right. You're a home annihilator. There's a difference.
way you guys were trying to make this work was just, slowly trying to come together because of his current situation, and you, by your own account,
Mine. I mean, I
you're
don't
just
wanna
a independent person. It sounds like pretty much,
Yeah.
and but through text message or through conversation, he never said, "Hey, this isn't going to be financially able. I'm not going to be financially able to do this," or "This isn't a good thing. I got these kids." None of those conversations ever came up.
No, I mean, he told me like he had a budget restriction. So for his apartment, and I'm pretty sure this is in the text, and this will probably be in the last couple weeks. He told me 1,100 to 1,400 when I was asking him, like, because I told him I'd help him do homework. I was like, you do some homework, I'll do some homework. We'll knock this out because if you guys are for real putting the house up, you got to figure it out. And so that was his budget. And I remember asking him, I was like, you sure you don't want to just get like a house? And he's like, I never thought about a house. I'm like, yeah, you can rent houses, man. Like, it's a thing. And he's just like, I don't know if I can afford that. I was like, okay. And I knew that those two had been through some financial trouble. I definitely found out a lot more about that situation in the newspaper recently.
Okay, so prior to the newspaper, how did you know he was in financial difficulty?
Because when I went
Yeah,
to that
stumbled through
house,
it.
everything in there is very, 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 very nice. It looks like it all comes with a very expensive price tag. And I didn't say anything to him about it, but I could kind of tell then where I was like just looking at everything like, how do you guys afford this? And then he has that car.
But let's remember, she's only been in the living room and in the basement. So she doesn't, how does she know all of the nice stuff that they have? If that's the only rooms she's been in, how does she know how expensive all their stuff is? Because she's been in that whole freaking house. She's been in that whole house, not just the living room and the basement. Me too. Me too.
I don't even know how much that car costs, but I bet it's
What car is
that
it?
Lexus. I'm sure that thing costs like 80 grand, but just like money, like everything just looked like it costs a lot of money. in that
Everything
house.
looked like it.
You probably have a
costs.
decent idea of how much money he makes.
Yeah, and it's not enough money to pay for all that, not
Mhm.
even close.
Did you have any idea what Shanann did for a living or how much money she might have made?
I mean, I had an idea. I would consider her like a sales rep. I don't know how else to describe that. For the company that she worked for. And I don't know exactly how much she made. He said that she was really competitive and she liked to try to keep up with him. He's like, she gets close sometimes. So I don't know how much those two brought in. I mean, off the top of my head, if I could guess, probably somewhere around like 140K a year. I mean, I don't know because I don't know exactly how much he makes and I don't know exactly how much she makes. But based
Bullshit.
just off of like what I know about the oil field, like, yeah, I would say that's probably an accurate estimate.
So even if they're making, let's just use the figure $100,000, they're living above their means or below their
Oh
means?
my God, like
Way too much.
way,
Did he ever
too-
discuss with you any of those issues?
I mean, a little. I mean, I didn't know about the bankruptcy or any of that until I read on the newspaper about that. But I think he was really frustrated with the situation. He told me, it's like, I feel like my paycheck goes in my bank account and I just watch it go like this. He's like, but it doesn't have to. He's like, she makes it like that. And I was
So
just
was
like,
he resentful for that?
I don't know if he was resentful. I just think he was frustrated by the fact that they could be doing a lot better financially. And she, from the vibe that I got, had really bad spending habits.
So she was a spender. The car hers or his?
I think it's hers.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that that's hers.
Do you know what other car they might have?
Well, I mean, his APC pickup truck.
And that's
it, I think.
that's owned by Anadarko though, right?
Yeah. But so I don't think they own any other vehicles as far as I know. I think it's
Wow. We're going to stop there. But so she knows how many vehicles they own. She knows an awful lot to know nothing, doesn't she? Yeah. Yeah, it is. That is a normal thing. Yeah. 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 I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. I'm not they had filed bankruptcy, but I don't know for sure. I haven't went that far into the financial stuff yet. Um, but I need to start looking into that so I will know the answers to that for sure. Yeah, I'm sure she wasn't doing it by herself. I mean, he made it sound like she was doing it all, but he spent money too. I mean, she wasn't. I didn't really see her. I guess because the stuff in the house all looked the same all the time. Like I didn't see her add like new stuff. I guess really all I seen her spending money on was Thrive. And then she would say, I'm not buying this. This is free. I earn it. And then I give it to people, you know? So I don't know. I don't know what she was spending the money on other than Thrive. Yeah. That's what I heard. Yeah. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, we are almost 3 hours. The money probably went to purchase the products. You have to buy a certain amount of product monthly. That's what I thought. But she would always say it was free. She didn't have to spend any money on it. So, I mean, I don't know how those work, but I can't imagine everything being free all the time, and you not having to put money in it. You know what I mean? But like I said, I don't know how those work at all. But right, right. Mhm. That's true. Good night, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us, Linda. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of y'all for joining us. Automatic payment to get the biggest discount too. Probably. Yeah, so they could just automatically draft it out of your check every month or your account every month. Yep. Yep. Right. Yes. Have a great Monday. Have a great rest of your night. I do hope everybody's week goes good next week. Thank y'all for coming in and joining us. Look for me and Megan, to be live one night next week. I'm not sure whenever she can has a chance to, for sure. Thank you for joining us on our discussion. Glad you're here. Glad you joined us, chimed in. We like it when people join us and chime in, give us their opinion. We like, even if it's different. I like your opinion, even if it's different, because you may let me see it in a different way. So, all opinions are welcome. Absolutely. The only thing we don't do is we don't bash Shanann because she is a victim, her and the girls. And but you can tell me things about her like y'all were doing, we think this and we think that, because those are facts, things that are out there and opinions that are out there. We have to cover it all, right? We have to look at both sides. We have to look at all the sides and all the videos and everything. So we can't be one sided and not look into things. That's why I want to go through her Facebook videos with everybody too. I mean, I don't feel like she might have been a little controlling, but I don't feel like what she did was abusive. I don't feel like she abused Chris. I just feel like he was submissive anyway. I feel like he'd been that way all his life. It was just his personality. So he just agreed. He just did. He just agreed. I think that was just him. I don't think it was because she bullied or she was scared of him or anything. And I just think she was just more forceful than him. And she was just like the boss. I mean, But I don't think anything with that. Definitely, she did not deserve what he done. There was always a way out. So, and it wasn't that one. So, do I think that it was perfect as they showed it? No, but definitely it was it was a tragedy, and it should never have gotten that far. You know, should have never gotten that far. But I think, honestly, I think she was probably more abused than he was, if you think about it, because he had this mask on this whole time that she didn't see this side of him. And then like she said, the reason they retook that baby video so many times when she told him she was pregnant was because she said the first time she told him, the look on his face was, it scared her. Like she was actually scared of him, of his reaction. That's why they did it over so many times. So, and it's actually documented. She said that to a friend. She texted it to one of her friends. So I think at that point the mask was slipping, and she was starting to see him for who he was. So in a way, I feel like there was more abuse on her, of him to her, than what the other way around. I would like to do a Wednesday for Sebastian with you. Hopefully, yes, that sounds good. I think Wednesday's good. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. I'm so sad for Shanann and her kids. They should still be like, right. Exactly. I am too. Nope. I agree. Nope. Ever. Nothing is perfect ever. No. Nope. Nope. They definitely did not deserve. And I think Shanann could have made it with just her and the girls and Nico. I'm sure it would have been hard, but I think that she would have, no pun intended, but I think she would have thrived without Chris. I think she would have been fine. Yeah, that's how many. I don't know how many times if you're talking about, oh wow, about the baby thing, I don't know how many times it was redone, but I know it was redone more than once. That's why you kind of hear her flat in the back when he's like, oh, does that mean a girl? And she's like, no, that just means I'm pregnant. And you kind of hear how flat she is. I was always wondering why her reaction was that, and that's why. Because it scared her so bad, his reaction. So they had to keep doing it, recording it till she could get it to a decent thing. So, and I forget, I don't know if she sent that to Addie or she sent it to, is it Christina? One of those two she sent it to. Yep, I think she would have done well. Yeah, the baby expression, yes, yep. That's what she said. It's in one of her texts to one of her friends that the reaction scared her. So, and he said he didn't expect her to get pregnant that quick, that it took longer last time. He's like, and that's why I gave her the look I gave her, because I was shocked that she was pregnant, because I wasn't expecting it to take so quick. That's what he told the investigators. So, because they're like, you acted like you didn't want it. And he's like, well, I didn't expect it to happen that quick. So I think he thought he could just maybe drag it out and she wouldn't get pregnant as soon, and just maybe it would be like they would give up on it, because he said they almost gave up on Bella. They almost gave up with Bella. So, yeah. I'll have to find that too and show everybody. But once again, everybody, I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you. You could have been anywhere. I appreciate you being here. Please come back and join us again for the Scuzzy Huzzy video. And we will find more lies about her and listen to them. I don't know if Frankie Rusick Jr. still has his channel, but I subscribed because I thought that's the least I can do if I'm going to use your video is subscribe. So I did subscribe to him. I don't know if he puts anything up there, but that's whose video this is. So if you want to go over there and look and see if he has any more videos. But I appreciate everybody. Megan just hit me up and we'll go live maybe Wednesday night if you want to. I thank y'all for being here. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good night. I love you and goodbye.